Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Chasing Meet Cutes podcast. I am your host, Nicole.
And I'm your host, Trisha.
Woohoo.
Well, today's another day. Another
Yes.
day, another episode.
Yes, season 2.
What are we drinking today for our episode?
We're drinking decaf coffee.
Yes.
That's it.
Caramel praline coffee.
Yep.
It's so good.
So delish. What do you have in yours?
Mine's just the oatmeal cookie, oatmeal creamer.
I have walnut milk and the pistachio creamer. Delish.
This combo, though, it's so good. Honestly, I could drink it black. It's just the flavor is so good.
Yeah, it is very good.
But anyways, okay. So before we jump into today's movie that we're going to be discussing, we have another icebreaker question. So it was actually a really good question. And basically, I could read it word for word, but which rom-com couple do we think is most likely to break up in real life or in the continuation of the movie?
Right.
This was a hard one.
It is a hard one, especially because we're
happily ever after people.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're these people are together in real life still to this day, even though obviously we know they're not. But
yeah, they are.
We're just yeah, they ended together. They're still together.
They have kids, grandkids. We're like, okay, this is how many years ago? That means they're probably this age now, and this is what their life is like.
Exactly. So this was a tough one, but
it was. Who did you say?
After much deliberation in my mind, I'm going with Andy and Ben from How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Oof, heartbreaking.
Yeah. Obviously,
Why?
they're so great, and the movie is so great, but we know their relationship was built on lies.
Deceit, yeah.
Deceit, however you want to say it.
Both.
And, sure, the initial, love that they have or they find, I think it's great, but I think eventually it would kind of fade out, or they would really get to know each other and figure out, okay, I don't think we're really right for each other.
Right. Or they might just have, a really solid long-term relationship.
Yeah.
That just eventually fades away, and they're no, we're good. People are going to come for us, I think.
Probably, but...
And it's
yeah, we want to hear your guys'
It's hard because, again, a lot of the other, movies, when we were thinking of it, was okay, they ended up getting married. Oh, they ended up getting married. So I'm they would have to,
get
it would have to be bad enough where they'd have to go through, a divorce.
A full divorce, right.
Would they do that? Or would they just, hit a rough patch and then be fine again?
Right. I don't know. So, it's tough. It's a tough question.
I also think that, you could pick any high school movie or
any movie
young couple that is set in high school or even college and be yeah, they probably broke up. So
yeah,
I was
probably 3 months later they probably broke up.
Right, Katie and Aaron from Mean Girls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How far could it go, really?
I agree.
The couple Viola and Duke, she's the man. They're a Cinderella story.
Yeah.
Austin Ames.
They definitely broke up.
And they even said, we did talk about this, so there's a chance you guys have already heard our opinions on this.
Mm-hmm.
But in that final scene of A Cinderella Story, she makes a point to be and they both went to Princeton.
Oh, yeah.
And they're happily ever after, for now at least, we're only freshmen in college. And I'm okay, see, I like that because
that's a normal
the reality
mindset.
Is you might break up.
Right. Yeah.
But in some of these movies with couples, that's where I'm oof, Andy and Ben, they're both I don't know how old, maybe late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
You would think that maybe they would have kind of got all their other relationships out of their system and settled on each other by that time, but I mean, listen,
you never know.
We know that people in their 30s and above still aren't ready. So,
oh my.
Anyways,
wait, who are you? Who are you?
Well, I said Katie and
okay,
Aaron.
Katie.
I mean, I just picked them.
Yeah. Well, and
I just think
the general
group,
high school.
You know what? I almost, when I was thinking about it over there, as far as young,
over there
by the coffee pot. I was thinking of like movies with young couples, and the first one that came to mind was The Couple from A Walk to Remember, and I was like, they could. And I was like, oh,
She did.
So they definitely didn't stay together.
They surely did not.
Wow. But anyways, that was our question for today. Who do you guys think would break up in real life?
Yeah, we might come for you, depending on your answers.
Yeah, exactly.
You never know.
Yeah, don't be saying like Mel and Jack from Virgin River or...
Oh, yeah. No.
No. So, okay, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about the movie Puppy Love, which was this just a streaming?
Yeah, we watched it on Prime.
Okay. Yeah, so it's Puppy Love. It's Lucy Hale, and I don't know the guy's name.
Me either.
That's it. We know who Lucy Hale is. I don't know who the guy is.
Dude, Lucy Hale stays in movies these days.
She does. Oh my gosh, she has like 15 out. I feel like
when we started this, I had seen it before, but when we rewatched, I'm like, I can't remember what this one is or what his character is like, because we've, like, in the last year watched pretty much like
so
all her
many.
ones.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them very cute. Some of them I'm like,
questionable content
what
for
was
sure.
Not only like questionable as in like for mature audiences, but also just like, what is this storyline?
Yeah,
like,
totally.
What is this writing?
Don't know.
But this one was cute. It's called, like you said, Puppy Love. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna read a quick little sum for us before we dive in. So Puppy Love follows Nicole,
which is weird.
Follows Nicole, a free-spirited mess, and Max, an uptight introvert, who are forced to co-parent a puppy after an awkward first date. Despite their clashing personalities, their shared responsibility for the mischievous dogs pushes them to spend more time together, leading to unexpected romantic sparks. As they navigate their differences and personal baggage, they realize that love, like puppy training, can be unpredictable but worth the effort.
Cute.
So yeah, what? I'll tell you where I was going.
Okay. These are always funny when she tells you the mashup of words.
I can't just leave it at nah and like
no, sure.
On. I was just gonna say, okay, so Nicole and Max, but I went
Nax. That could be their couple name. Yeah.
Nax. What would it be? Yeah, Nicole.
McCole.
Nicole? I don't know.
MACOLE.
Knickknacks?
Yeah, totally.
Okay,
that's good.
Anyway, so we have Nicole and Max. Nicole, like we said, she's a mess.
Yeah.
Literally and just like emotionally.
Yeah, she's all over the place.
She is. And Max is also kind of all over the place, just in different ways.
Right.
He's got major social anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
This is definitely like a post-COVID.
Set in Seattle.
It's definitely like, I forget what year this was, 22 or?
I think 22.
So a lot of the writing is surrounded by, like, they reference being in quarantine.
COVID, yeah.
Just COVID comes up. So I think he just quarantined for so long and really got in his head about germs and just socially being around people that it kind of messed him up, and he can't even go into the office because he can't even go in to order a coffee. He has to go through the drive-through. We see it, the first scene we meet him is like has his window rolled up, so there's like a crack this much, and he's trying to like get his coffee, and it's just so awkward. And
obviously it doesn't fit through the window, so he ultimately rolls it down. But
and he's in therapy. He's working through. He recognizes that it's a little crazy. Yeah. But his therapist is honestly so funny. She just mirrors him the whole time and just says, I don't know, off the wall stuff.
Yeah. Whatever he's saying, she just says it back.
Yeah. And she basically encourages him to, because he doesn't have any like human interaction, to maybe try and get a dog and like a therapy dog, if you will. Yeah. Just someone to bond with. Another thing.
Right. Something else to like take care of. Like, you're dedicating some of your time, some of your mental capacity to something else.
Right. And so he does.
Yeah.
He goes and picks a dog out from a rescue and adopts it. The cutest little dog. What was that? A Cocker Spaniel?
It's
No.
a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel.
I was going to say, there's definitely Spaniel, because I've seen some King Cavaliers and they're not that cute. No offense, Aunt Jill. That's
remember,
what she
because
has.
he's like, oh, do I call you King Charles or Queen Charles?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, but
he doesn't. He calls her Chloe. Her name's Chloe.
She's so cute, honestly.
Yeah.
I am not...
Just say it.
I'm not a dog lover.
Yeah.
I'm a dog liker. I like dogs. I don't love dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I had this debate with Shelly today on the phone. I don't know how it came up. But she was like, no, you're not even a dog. You don't like dogs. And I was like,
you don't.
I do like dogs. I just don't want to like have to take care of it all the time in this season of my life. I could see when I settle down, get married, maybe have kids.
Okay.
And then have a fenced-in backyard.
Mm-hmm.
I could see me wanting to have a dog as long as like my husband wants to take care of the dog.
Yeah. You're not even a dog liker.
I am a dog. Like when I see someone else's dog, I'm like, oh my gosh, so cute.
We just said this like last night or the night before
but
when
it
you were
depends
like
on the
you were
dog.
like
It depends
sure,
on the dog.
Of course it depends on the dog, but you were just saying last night or the night before that like you don't want to have to take care of the dog even if it's like your dog, your husband and your dog.
Yeah, I don't want to right
You're
now.
like, I guess I could like feed it and let it outside. But you don't really want the dog.
No.
And that's
fine. But
fine.
It doesn't mean it doesn't mean I don't like dogs.
That's fine. Nobody
I just know people are going to come for me.
No, they're not. I will stick up for you.
I grew up with having dogs in the house. It's not like I'm afraid of them or I don't like them.
Not everybody wants to have dogs. You can still like them and not have them.
Right
You're
now,
not like a dog abuser or like.
Here's what I'll think. Here's why I think I feel that way. Because years ago, I had, and this is a tangent. Sorry.
Who cares?
Years ago, I was kind of down in the dumps. I just recently was diagnosed with my autoimmune disease, and I was just really like down. And I got in my head that I really wanted a dog. Like I thought like it would be fun and happy and like cute, and I could pay attention to that. And it was just like, you know, when you like want a puppy, it's just like all you can think about. You just want to look it up, like you want to find the right one for you. And so I did. It was kind of impulsive. Like I didn't do that much research on like what kind of dog or where I was just like searching the web. I find my dog Milo. I get him. I go meet him. He's so cute. I bring him home. I like him for a while. I always liked him. But it is the responsibility component to the dog because I like to be on my own timeline.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what Shelly and I were saying because she is married and has a kid and was like, I don't even want a dog right now.
No.
Like, the fact that, like, you can't go away for the day, you're like, gotta go home and let the dog out. No, I'm not trying to do that. If I want to go here and here and here or go somewhere overnight or for the weekend, I'm not paying to board a dog or find a dog sitter or... And let's be honest, it's expensive to care for a dog.
Yeah.
Well, like, go to the vet. The vet is like, they're going to nickel and dime you more than a regular doctor. So, I like dogs. I don't want to have a dog. I think that's where you got.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Nobody's going to come for you for that.
I think I just worked that out. So thank you. Glad. I don't have to bring that up in
We
therapy.
all did that together.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. And to all the guys on Hinge that just looking for a dog mom, I'm so sorry.
Sorry.
It's not going to be me.
She's not
right now. It's not going to be me right now. But
it's not even going to be me because they're all crusty on there anyway. All the dogs that they have.
Yeah.
None of them have cute dogs.
Yeah. And
that's
even
just
if it's cute, I'm sorry. It's not going in my bed. I'm not having dog hair on all my clothes and my comforter and sheets and all throughout the house. You walk in, your nose blind because it stinks no matter how many times you vacuum and clean. You can tell when someone has an animal in their home. You just can.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's nasty. It's just like not what I want.
Yeah. No problem.
So anyways,
Puppy love. Nicole and Max.
So
so
they both get dogs.
Basically. Yeah. Yeah, Nicole finds her
Yeah, I was
dog
gonna say, tell us about that dog.
literally in the garbage outside of her building. She sees this dog multiple times, just like rustling through the trash outside of her building. And one night she comes home. I think she's a little drunk.
A lot of drunk. Yeah.
Sees the dog out there, and she like decides, okay, we can have a one night stand. Like you can just stay the night once, and then tomorrow we'll try to find if you have an owner. Like I'll take you to the vet, see if you have a chip, all the things.
But again, I'm sorry. Like you even mentioned,
no,
this mystery dog that's been
is
hanging
not
out in the
coming
dumpster
inside.
is definitely not coming in my home.
Yeah.
Even though
and you guys, I am a dog liker / lover. I am. Okay, so this dog is not coming inside. I'm sorry. Digging through the trash for who knows how long.
I don't know if you have a disease.
Yeah, like she gives him a bath, but
and it's a mutt. It's not even like, oh my gosh. Like,
yeah.
I mean, no offense, cute. He was cute.
Yeah.
But the wiry dogs, not for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, she brings him in, ends up giving him a bath, and she just ends up keeping him, even though the vet roasted her.
Doesn't have an owner. There's no chip. She posts posters around town, but to no avail. Anyway.
Right. Oh, and the dog's name. Did you say it?
The dog's name is Channing Tatum. I don't remember why she named it that, but she did.
I think after the bath, she was looking in the mirror. She's like, "Aren't you handsome?" Just like, Channing Tatum.
True. I forgot.
Something like that.
Yeah. So, that's that. I mean,
so they both separately kind of get advice, him from the therapist and his friend, and her from her friends, that like they should like get back on Bumble.
Yeah.
Because he had just semi-recently gone through a breakup situation. She can't keep a guy because she's closed off, has all these walls up. She never lets anyone in. And so in the first scene we see her, like some dude breaks up with her, and she's like, why would he break up with me? Like I did let him in. Like we did a lot of things, like da da da. And he just basically said, you're emotionally unavailable. You just, I don't know, we'll never let anybody in. So she's kind of just like this. That night she's at the bar or the karaoke bar drunk, like looking for like, oh, nobody in here is like one night standable. Like
she's kind of just like the hookup kind of gal.
Yeah, because I think we come to find out like she's just kind of in a bad spot in her life. But her career seems to be low-key taking off. She's a home stager for like high-end luxury properties, and she's good at what she does. She's an artist, and we learn that she chose to stay and take care of her dad who was dying instead of going to art school. So that kind of like was put on the back burner.
Yeah.
And she just never went back to that. She just stayed with this job, but she likes it, and she's doing well for herself, but it's not like her passion.
Right.
So her family like continues to bring that up. So she's just kind of like, okay, let me like see what's out there. They're both scrolling Bumble. They both update their profiles to include pictures with their dogs.
As one does.
Not
apparently,
me, but
apparently.
I think at one point have a picture of me and Milo when I still had him, but don't have him anymore.
We don't need to get into that.
I'm sorry.
That's where the people are going to come for you.
Whatever. I did what I had to do. So they match on Bumble, ultimately. He sees her and thinks that, like, she's out of his league. And I think she does anyways,
it. Yeah, and she swipes because he has a dog. And she has a dog and is like, okay.
Right. Yeah.
That should be fine.
So they match, and they set a date to meet at the park with the dogs. And that date just is literally...
It's so awkward.
Everything's awkward about it. He's so awkward. I mean, because he's nervous. He's obviously a little socially anxious and awkward because of that.
He's very, very high strung. Like, he's just like in a full spiral panic.
Yeah.
About this.
He's in his head 24/7 and won't let anybody else sway his leanings
Yeah.
towards what he feels. So,
and she's the complete opposite. Like, she's
oh,
completely
carefree.
carefree,
Mhm.
doesn't like.
But I did
Yeah.
think that, like, okay, so her attempt at, like, oh, let's get to know each other and, like, eat some hot wings to get,
Mhm.
the truth serum when you're
Yeah.
just, like, it's spicy. I'll just tell you whatever. I thought, I'm like, that's a little bit much for a first date. When she's, like, shoving the wing in his
it to him
face and she's like, just bite it. Like, it's, let's just do it. And he's like, no. And I'm just like,
yeah.
boundaries.
Yeah, that is weird for sure.
Yeah.
For even if he didn't have like OCD or like anxiety about.
Yeah. No, exactly.
It was
just
weird.
Too much.
Totally.
Yeah. But it was funny. That's exactly how I would have reacted to the ghost pepper wing. He was just like dying basically.
Bro.
And
it's hot.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't even imagine.
I can, unfortunately.
Yeah. And so during this whole spiral of the hot wing and giving him water and she's laughing at him and he's like, are you psycho? Like, the dogs are nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
They lose the dogs.
They go.
They find the dogs getting it on behind a tree. They freak out. He freaks out.
Yeah.
He freaks out. He brings up, like, consent.
Yeah.
He's so, like, protective of his dog Chloe. She's like, no, like, he's neutered. Like, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. Well, come to find out,
he wasn't. His testicles had just not dropped, apparently. So.
And, yeah, Chloe.
Yeah, our girl Chloe
pregnant.
ends up pregnant.
A little hussy.
Yeah.
It's so funny the amount of times, like, during that scene, like, just the little comedic moments of him and his friend trying to get the dog to take a pregnancy test to pee on his stick. Oh my gosh,
that was so funny.
And yeah, all the things. But he basically calls her and was like, hey, you're going to be a grandma. Chloe's pregnant. This is your dog. She's like, how do you know it was my dog? What couldn't it be my dog? And
yeah,
whatever. This just, like, escalates to she's moving in because her dog, Channing Tatum, needs to be with Chloe during this pregnancy.
And she's, like, gonna get evicted.
Yes, because she can't have a dog in her
she can't have
apartment.
a dog.
So the two of those things lead to her moving in to Max's house, and
which was supposed to be short term, obviously.
Right. Right.
But that ends up not really happening.
And they kind of, I have in that, like, towards that first move-in timeline, they're sitting on the couch, and he's kind of, like, opening up to her.
Yeah.
And she to him, and he tells her that he had been cheated on in his last relationship. He got COVID.
From the girl
who got it
from another guy.
Right. This whole deal.
Yeah, he just was, like, kind of having that vulnerable moment, and, like, I think kind of explaining why maybe he has some of the tendencies he does. Like,
right.
I think he had some of these before COVID, but, like, this whole situation,
maybe they weren't as debilitating.
Yeah, this whole situation just, like, really heightened those things.
Yeah.
But she's super, like, understanding and saying, like, no, it's not, like, weird or.
Yeah, she was just very accepting and understanding of what he was saying, and he kind of misinterpreted that.
Yeah.
And just, like, went in for a kiss, and she, like, pulls back immediately, and then he feels stupid because he was basically rejected, and she was just kind of like, I'm so sorry, like, I didn't, I don't know, it was just, like, an awkward, uncomfortable, like, why did that have to happen like that, but then we just see, like, their life kind of unfold, all these little scenes of them together, living together, and taking the dogs for walks, and her busting in the bathroom when he's, like, butt naked after the shower.
Yeah.
Like, just learning to live together among each of their quirks and personalities.
Yeah, and it also seems like in this little montage that they're showing, like, it kind of seems like he's healing a little bit, if you will. Like, some of his quirks are, like, he's able to not fixate on them as much, maybe.
I think he's just, like, forced to be like, you're literally sharing your space with somebody, so you can't have everything just so and in its place and privacy 100% of the time, like, and so because of that forced situation, I think he's kind of like realizing like, oh, I'm not gonna like fall apart if something doesn't go my way.
Right. But we did, when you just mentioned her like busting in the bathroom and him being butt naked, and she had like zero reaction to like seeing, like, she busts in the bathroom and there he is naked, and she just like thinks nothing of it. I'm like, how?
First of all, why are you busting up in the bathroom? You're not gonna knock,
right? Like,
and
you
she's
know,
like,
he's in
lock
the shower.
the door. I'm like, how about you just knock? You live with a roommate.
Yeah.
And there's clearly one bathroom, so the door was closed.
Yeah.
Like, you're not winning that. You're not winning that one. I'm sorry.
No.
But it was a funny moment.
Yeah. I did like when they were walking the dogs through the park, and that one lady, the crazy lady with her big dog, is like harassing him because she's like trying to make sure he adopted and
like
adopt, don't
she
shop.
Doesn't believe him.
Yeah, and he's like, no, I can assure you it's a rescue. And he's like kind of fumbling a little bit because he's like, okay, this lady is in my space with this big dog, and like, I'm telling the truth. I don't know how else to like,
right.
I don't know how else to prove it or say it, whatever. And then Nicole like comes up and just like, she's like, hey, what is your problem? Like, basically, get out of here. Like, it's a rescue. Be on your way. And he was just like, oh, that was amazing. Like, thank you.
Yeah, I think in those moments too, yes, he's healing, but we also see she's kind of like understanding of that and wants to help him further the healing process.
Right.
Of like
where he lacks, she makes up.
And same for her in other ways, because she also opens up to him about the whole situation of putting art school on the back burner,
right,
taking care of her dad, him passing away, like just the emotions. Like they're sharing with each other like real details about their lives that they maybe wouldn't, or they're like hesitant to other people.
Yeah.
But they really start to get along great. Like friends, definitely.
Yeah.
Definite moments of like, like the romantic-esque scenes, or like they were at that scene at the front door where they like looked like they were almost gonna kiss and didn't.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not sure what happened from that moment to her being like, hey, I'm going out tonight, you should come. Yeah. Or do you want to come? And he's like, no, like, because he's afraid. And he's like, well, I have plans. And she's just kind of saying through his
like, no,
crap. Yeah. And he just kind of gets defensive.
Right.
So she goes out. She's kind of like annoyed by that. Because I think she was inviting him as like a, like, I'm really enjoying spending time with you. Like, you should come out with me. Like, it'll be really fun.
Yeah.
Because that's her world. And he just couldn't handle it.
Right.
But then that night kind of like,
one of her
went to crap.
Clients, or one of the homes that she's been hired to stage, because the guy is selling the house. His name's Hunter. He was the inventor of some crypto something. I don't know what it's called.
Company.
Anyway, he's rich. So she's supposed to be staging his home so he can sell it and put it on the market. And he ends up at this bar that they're at, and it kind of just like escalates from there. And he's like he's just like really weird, eccentric, like
very
not. He might be an American citizen, but he's not like
thick
born
accent
in America.
He Max mentioned like the Italian. You brought the Italian guy back. I don't know if he's actually Italian or not, but just definitely thick accent, very over the top. Like he's like speaking to her in another language. Yeah. Hot, like he's got a nice body. He's a cute guy, and I think her boss early on was like, you got to have the good like flirt ratio with him, just to be like, to make the business deal go through, kind of thing. Right. And but yeah, she ends up bringing Hunter, this guy, home, and it just
he's drunk,
all falls apart.
Yeah, he like starts messing with all of Max's things, and he's got like these shelves of memorabilia up in like the living room, and Hunter starts messing with them, and it's like things that aren't replaceable. And of course, like, Max is getting irritated at this, and he's irritated at Nicole for even bringing this guy to his house. Like,
Right.
why would that be an acceptable behavior? Which I agree with.
I agree with that too.
Don't.
You're a guest in my home.
Oh, yeah.
And you know how he is already.
Exactly.
Disrespectful.
Yeah.
Sorry,
so
Nicole.
Things escalate with them. Max ends up punching Hunter in the face because Hunter's just like, he just keeps nagging and keeps pushing, and Max just finally cracks and punches him right in the
Nicole
right in the
was
face.
like, you need to go, you need to go, and he just like wasn't taking no for an answer. So yeah, he punched him.
He gets punched, and ultimately he leaves, but it really does cause like a rift between Max and Nicole. And
majorly, because at that moment we realized that Chloe ran out the door because when Hunter left, he didn't close the door, and Max and Nicole start arguing back and forth, kind of throwing out some harsh truths to each other, just about how he's, you know, I don't know what she said about him. I forget. Like, you're a, I don't know. Just like, just talking about how like he never goes anywhere, and he's just.
Yeah, she says something like, you can't do something like if you only stay in your house. Like, yeah, I forget exactly what it was that she said, but.
And he then bites back at her and says like, you're selfish and.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, and they say mean things. And Chloe's like, guys, I'm pregnant. Like,
I'm out of here.
Y'all are fighting. Me. I'm out of here. I'm pregnant. I can't deal with this. So she runs away. Max runs out there. It's pouring down rain, of course. He does find Chloe like under a park bench or something, brings her back. But when he comes back,
so cute.
I know.
Like, her face is so cute.
Yeah. When he gets back to his house, he basically tells Nicole like she needs to go, and she's like,
he walked in the door and was like, you're still here, why?
Yeah.
Like, just like quietly, like kind of under his breath.
Yeah. So he tells her like she's got to go. So she's like saying, she's saying bye to Channing Tatum, and he's like, no, you can take him with you. And she's like, what do you mean? Like, I'll get evicted if I bring this dog back to my apartment. And he's like, I don't really care. Like, that's not my problem. That's your problem.
Yep. And I'm not your dog sitter.
Yeah. So he's like really pissed.
Which, again, like, justifiably so. Like,
this
whole 100%. Arrangement was really for the dogs more than anything. And yes, she's benefiting from not getting evicted, but
yeah,
this is like not an honor to live with him, but like, this is a privilege to stay here. It's not your right.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna disrespect me in this way, especially, you're gone. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's a boundary he set. I don't think it was him just being crazy. I think it was very reactive. As we see, because they have a couple days. We don't know how much time was in between where they were separated, but anyways, they kind of go back and talk to their respective circles.
Yeah.
And kind of realize that what the other was saying about them, although it was painful to hear, was true.
Yeah.
And so they're kind of dealing with that in their own ways. And his friend, you know, they're like on a Zoom call, and he says to his friend, like, man, I told her about getting cheated on, and then she goes and does the same thing. And his friend was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
No. Like, he's a little bit like living in delusion.
Yeah. Yeah, like, you can kind of tell he's starting to struggle again, the same like mentally as he was before.
A little PTSD from the previous situation, but it's like they were not ever they never even kissed. They weren't dating. Like, I think they both were feeling like maybe we're going to get to that point here soon, but no, we're not exclusive. We're not in a relationship. There was no
that conversation
cheating.
Was never had. Like,
no, so if that's where he was feeling, it's like, okay, I need to put myself in check here. I probably overreacted. I did not handle that
Yeah.
well.
Right.
You could be mad that she brought a random guy into your house
Totally.
and how he messed up with all your stuff. But to accuse her of cheating,
right. Too far. Yeah.
Too far.
Yeah.
Too far.
I mean, she does ultimately apologize to him, and she uses her dog to do that. She basically just like puts him in a box and has a little sign around his neck saying like, my mom says sorry, or something like that.
That was cute.
And also she sent or purchased this, I don't know what you would even call that. It's like a little
thing.
gate.
They call it like a welcome box or something.
Yeah, where like the puppy, like she can have the puppies within it. I don't know. Anyway, she got that because he was wanting it. But so she comes around the corner or around the side of her car, and they kind of make up, and they just like both admit they both kind of overreacted, and she admits that she's just scared to let people in and lose people that she loves, obviously losing her dad. So she just admits that she's scared.
Yeah, she said, well, when they were both just like sitting there on the porch having that conversation, you know, she said that she regretted handling that whole thing like she did, and he did too. And I think it was him that just said like, I really like having you in my life, or she did.
She
and then
said that.
he said me too. And then the quote was, it's hard to really care for someone when you know they can be taken away from you in regards to losing her dad. And I think you kind of see her putting those pieces together in her own mind for herself to be like, yeah, I'm projecting what I'm feeling. That's deep. That's like a hard process. That's grief bleeding into your other areas of your life.
Yeah.
And ultimately it's only doing you a disservice. Like,
exactly.
And so, they kind of just like go inside the house, and she sees that he has all her art displayed like in the living room, and it was just so sweet.
That was really sweet.
And he's like, I just thought it looked good here.
Yeah.
And it was just,
that was very, very
he was
sweet.
just very thoughtful. That we come to find out like he's super thoughtful. He helps her with her art school application. She gets that sent off. She has like an interview scheduled. Then we see the open mic night scene.
Yeah.
They decide to go have like a little roomy hang night in public. He agrees. And she takes him to this open mic night, and he's like, no, we're not doing that. Like, I'm not doing this. She's like, yes, you have to do it. Like, it's going to be great. Because he's also like a musician, we find out.
Yeah.
He writes songs. And so she signs him up to perform. And he goes up there and kills it, essentially.
He really does. He has a very nice voice.
He does. It was like very like rich, almost like choral, or like he has a nice tone and vibrato, which is more like a classical sound to it, but still modern. I don't know. It was really
and he hit those high notes like really well.
Did.
I'm like, I don't even know.
And
if
it
I
didn't
could
sound
hit
like, you know, some movies like,
it's like
I forget what we were watching the day. I'm like, we were watching Heart of Dixie, and I'm like, some computerized like auto-tuned pre-recorded voice over this girl. I'm like, she ain't singing that. But it wasn't like that. Like, you could tell like that's probably
like
him
the
singing.
Hillary Duff.
Oh, yeah.
I just saw like a meme about that again today.
Yeah.
It was so funny. Anyway, sorry.
But he kills it up there, and the whole time he's singing, we keep seeing clips of her just like getting emotional.
Yeah,
like
getting
she's
teary-eyed.
so emo.
Because doesn't he improvise it, or not improvises, but he changes some of the words in like the second verse to be about dogs or something like that.
Yeah. Throughout it, I mean, was like kind of basically telling their story essentially.
Yeah. So that was really, really sweet.
So the next scene is the day of her interview. She's super nervous, so he agrees to drive her to the interview.
Yeah.
And she has her whole like portfolio with her. They take the dogs just to be supportive. And what do you know? Little Miss Chloe goes into labor, and they have to pull over so she can give birth to her puppies.
Yeah. That scene was honestly, it was so funny, like just the sheer panic of it all. And of course it's like right outside of a school.
Yeah.
And like the kids are outside at recess and whatever, and like
The woman being like, "You can't do this here."
it's
You think
like
we
it's
planned
a
this?
dog having puppies. It's not a woman like
And
giving
also
birth.
tell your kids to go away.
Yeah,
Like,
and
manage your classroom, lady.
Yeah, it was just so funny when she had like YouTube pulled up on like how to help, and I was like, guys, the dogs.
Or even
don't...
when they were first were like in the car still, like you were saying, like when they're like, "What's that smell? Oh, she's licking her hoo-ha. What's going on?"
Like, guys,
you guys know
you have
she's
a pregnant dog that's like very close to
3 days
being
away
due.
from her due date.
Yeah, but when they have her laying out like on the sidewalk, I'm like, the dog does not need your help.
Yeah,
giving birth.
she knows what to do, guys.
It's fine. Anyway, she gives birth to the puppies. They're
she
great.
obviously misses her interview.
Yeah, she does. She misses the interview, and she like emails them and leaves a voicemail, but she doesn't hear back from them to reschedule or anything. So that's like, she's kind of just like lets it go or chalks it up to like, she says my dad always said like everything happens for a reason. So
right,
that was that.
So then we have like this post puppies scene. They're back at home. They're all in that little welcome gate box thing that she bought, and they're just kind of taking in the moment, and they just end up kissing.
Yeah.
And then they have a little makeout sesh, and the dogs are ruining it. They ultimately move to the bedroom and do marry people things. And then we see them in bed, and she gets a notification on her phone that she got in to the art school. And she's like, I got in. Wait.
She's like kind of confused because obviously they never reached back out to her to do the interview or anything. She
never did do the interview, right?
Yeah.
So she's just like, how did I even get in? Like, I never did this. And he's like, well, I like sent them your portfolio and wrote
the
personal statement for you. And she just, I think he was kind of nervous. Yeah. Like, how is she going to react to it? Like, did I overstep? And she just immediately, like, goes in for another kiss because she's just so appreciative.
Yeah, that was very sweet.
Another moment of him just being thoughtful.
Yeah, I'm like, shoot, if I could have had somebody write my personal statement.
You did.
Please. No, I didn't.
No, you didn't.
I did not.
And then really it's just the final party scene. He decides like we should do a party, like celebrate you getting into law school. Because you just said law school.
I know. I didn't even say law school.
But I know you were meaning law school. Anyways, they have this party, which they just, of course, had to make it dog themed.
All the dog things.
Like, every dog they know came.
They had all different
happy decorations.
All different dog balloons.
Yeah.
Everything. Everything was dogs.
Everything. And it was just cute. It was just kind of like a little montage
because
of
she
the
was
scenes.
like, wait, like you want to host the party at your house?
Right.
Like you want to have all these people and dogs come over to your house? Like, okay. And he's like happy to do it. And
they also, at some point before all that, were like, I don't want you to move out. And she was like,
oh yeah,
okay, I won't.
Then I won't.
Like, done. So they're definitely an item.
Yeah, for sure.
And during the course of all the partying going on, we just see the cutest moment of him just like leaned up against the wall, just like staring at her. And like, it's just the cutest.
Yeah.
The way he's looking at her, he just looks confident standing right there. Like,
yeah.
The beginning like of this movie and several scenes like well within the movie, he's just like a literal nervous wreck.
A wreck.
Physically, he looks in shambles.
He pukes like over.
I could never.
No.
Nobody
could,
would want to, but
definitely not
not me. But yeah, that's really the last thing I had was just the way that he looked at her, and she then returned the look of like just like It was just very sweet. It's a very cute movie. I'm not saying it's the best movie I've ever seen in my life.
No, of course not.
But I thought their like romance was sweet and realistic.
Yeah.
Because they were real life problems. It wasn't just like super predictable. Like,
Yeah,
obviously,
the
you knew,
dynamic
like, okay,
was
somehow
so
they're going to be together, but
different. And
yeah, how they kind of walk through their own quirks and definite opposites attract situation.
yeah, totally.
But again, it's one of those that I feel like he needed her to bring out, you know,
Yeah.
some normalcy in his life.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not usually like a big proponent of like it's 50-50, like you need someone else to be that other 50% so that together you can be 100. I'm not usually a big proponent of that, but like in this sense, I'm not saying he was 50% and whatever, but
Yeah.
like she definitely added.
She helped him get to the 100 so that they
Yeah.
both could then be 100.
Right.
Nobody's ever at 100.
No.
You know, as far as like putting in effort, but just being a well-rounded, like ready for a relationship, he wasn't at the beginning. And
No.
honestly, she wasn't either. And that's what I kind of liked about it. It was like it wasn't like a one night stand gone wrong. It was just like a random date.
Yeah.
They became friends. And it wasn't until the very end when they're like realizing how they helped each other
Right.
as friends through some of their like crap.
Yeah.
And then they just realized the value, you know, that each other had brought to the relationship. So
I agree.
that's puppy love.
That is puppy love.
Yeah. Well,
let us know your answer to the icebreaker question.
ooh, yes. Who's breaking up?
Who is breaking up?
You know, they could.
Oh, they definitely do.
Yeah, I don't think they're
I'm not
marriage
sold
material.
on. Yeah, I'm not sold on them for sure.
Like, especially if she goes to art school somewhere.
What's in state?
Still.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they'll break up, but guess we'll never know.
I don't know. They could stay together, but
we're not,
because we don't know. I think they're a safe.
Yeah,
like they're one that we're not like.
Normally, like at the end of a movie, we're like, and they live happily ever after. Like I already said this, but like they live happily ever after. Like they're still married today. That's not what we're saying about them.
No, because we don't even know. Like,
yeah,
we don't know.
It's very new at the end.
Like there are some movies where you're just like, yeah, I don't really care if they stay together or not.
Yeah,
like it was a good watch, but like
whatever.
If I find out in 10 years that they broke up, okay,
not surprised. Yeah,
and he still has a lot of work to do.
100%.
So does she.
Yeah.
But
yep.
It's a fictional relationship, so I'm like, he has a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching.
Yes, as
Anything
always.
else we need to add?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so.
We have a lot of good stuff coming to you guys, so
yeah.
Stay tuned. Keep watching. Subscribe if you haven't. Turn on the notifications if you want to watch us on YouTube. And share if anybody. Text it to somebody. Share it to your socials. I don't know. Just do whatever you want to do. Just
do
share
whatever.
It. Do what you do. But we do appreciate you guys following along and listening to us yap about these on-screen romances. So thanks for listening. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye. Bye.